I'm sure we'll hear some good banter. This will be the first go with Pierre Poilievre as the leader of the Conservative Party and Justin Trudeau being in the House of Commons. Welcome to Heard with Trevor. This week we get Parliament back in session here with members of Parliament going back into the House of Commons. And coming up, to start with, there's a bill from Liberal member Carla Qualtrough. And Carla was a Paralympic swimmer who became elected for the Liberal Party. And I'm just going to pull up the order paper here for tomorrow. As you can see, we've got the Bill C-22, the Canada Disability Benefit Act. And like a lot of Liberal bills, I find this one to be extremely vague. I understand the process is essentially to replace CPP disability. However, there's no, it doesn't say anything about benefits for a parent that's got a child. There's no specifics on how much that this would pay. Would this just be simply the same CPP disability pay being transferred into the new program? And it doesn't set into place anything in regards to how or what is going to be contained in the application process for anyone that would be applying for Canada Disability benefit under this new program that the Liberals are introducing. So once members get through the debate on Bill C-22, they will move on to question period, where I'm sure we'll hear some good banter. This will be the first go with Pierre Poilievre as the leader of the Conservative Party and Justin Trudeau being in the House of Commons. And they've had some good kicks at it in the past here. I think this will be interesting now with the two of them as being actual leaders of their parties. And we've got some interesting things that'll come up in question period. We've got namely the Emergency Measures Act and the committee for it being held up by the Liberal Party. We've got the Nova Scotia mass shooting committee as well. And this has been delayed through one of the judges, I believe, that was supposed to be running this committee. The ban on handguns, and that is being an order in council before ever passing through the legislative processes. So lots to talk about there. Afternoon session. They move on to a private members bill, which appears as though it may pass. Those familiar will know that it's not very common to have the private members bills going anywhere with the private members being in the opposition seats. Now, that being said, this act basically it amends the immigration laws that we have in Canada. And so just opening up the Bill C-242 preview, and here we've got the private member bill from Conservative MP Kyle Seback, and it is an act to amend the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. And this will change temporary resident visas for parents and grandparents, and essentially makes things little more easier for keeping families connected while going through the immigration processes and refugee processes more specifically. Text of the bill itself for Bill C-40 242, pardon me, and this basically is something you can read if you so choose, but very short here. Does not go very far, as I said. Basically, just provides some insurance and helps to keep families connected here in the process of refugee and immigration status. As always, I'll link this in the comments for you, and you can have a read of this bill as well. And this we got Bill C-22. Here's the text for it. Very well organized, and it's written fine. My challenge with this, however, is that there's no actual specifics on the application process, and there's no specifics on how or what the pay rates are going to be for Canadian disability benefit. So all in all, a good bill. Very happy to see the Liberals are not making this an omnibus bill. They do the consequential amendment to the Income Tax Act as well. However, that's directly related to changes in the Canada Disability Benefit Act from the CPP process that we have in place now. And looking further into the week here, kind of disappointing after Monday. Yeah, that's all we get for question period. After a long summer, I find that rather unfortunate that there is just the one day on the schedule. However, the committee meetings most certainly are kicking back in full force here. And selected a few. These open up and close through the menus there, and just selected a few that sparked a little interest here. We've got the threat analysis affecting Canada and the CAF operational readiness from the National Defence Committee meeting, and some environmental and sustainability development committee here. They've got some presentations, some clean technologies in Canada, something I want to have a look at here. As we know, there's a lot of hypocrisy inside the clean energy technologies and electric vehicles. We don't have that so much in Canada, as there's very little electricity that we make out of coal, and what we do make almost exclusively goes to the oil field industry in Alberta. However, something to just pay attention here, and then some differential outcomes in immigration, refugees, and Citizen Canada decisions, and something to take a look at there for any changes to immigration policy. I always find the lack of planning with the number of houses that the government has on projection never matches anywhere close to what we're taking in for immigration, and that most certainly makes our housing problem even worse here. And yeah, just some regular meeting for the public safety, national security. We've got some facial recognition stuff that's been coming up, and the testing of that inside of airports like Toronto and Pearson, and airport here in Vancouver as well. Ethics committee meeting. Oh, there we go. Right there's the. I had that under the wrong committee here. The impact of facial recognition technology meeting comes up. Comes up as a meeting under the ethics committee. and a few more there through the week as well. And which I should say just until Thursday. Thursday, the committee meetings shut off once again. There's some interesting discussion on technology under Bill C-35. Bill C-235 brought up the full text for this one as well, and we start getting back into the framework for a green prairie economy. And I took a look at this a little bit around the time of the Freedom Convoy, and didn't hear too much more about it until I believe it was the end of July, and where we had the agricultural ministers from the provinces meeting with the federal government ministries. And of course, then the talks of banning fertilizer use, which is probably not, or it is not the best way or terminology to use when talking about this bill. It certainly puts a lot of limitations, but it's not an outright ban. There may be, certain aspects of this that we could consider a ban, but all in all, our other fertilizer policies or our this green prairie economy, neither of this is just a full-out ban on anything here. Some of this. I always struggle to call it clean energy or green energy because we know it certainly cannot be in many aspects. I guess my main concern is, of course, that we keep our waters clean, and we don't want to be, creating, some chemical through a heat process and then just dumping that back into our soil. We want to have it's sustainable, and I hesitate with that as well, just because of how the United Nations seems to have hijacked that through their terminology that they use through their media and on their website. So coming to Friday, no sessions inside the House regarding any bills or any debate, question period or member statements, anything like that. But we do have a interparliamentary meeting coming up, and I'm going to have to move this over, I see. So you can see Speaker Anthony Rota and Speaker George Fury from the Senate. They're both the leaders on this, and just going through it, I didn't quite understand what this was in regards to the Canadian section of ParlAmericans, and so I looked that up a little bit more because I wasn't familiar with it, and again, it basically just links into a lot of United Nations led initiatives, which aren't necessarily a bad thing. Not everything that comes out of the United Nations is bad. We certainly have some great attempts here. It's just whether we want this type of process to be forced on our communities is up for the individual to decide. Nothing wrong with gender equality and having open parliament, equal number of women. I fully understand we do not have the proper number of women in positions of power in our society, but that can certainly be a topic of debate on another time here. And then really skeptical Nicole, this goes back into climate change stuff here. Again, I really am concerned about keeping our waters clean, keeping our air clean, but taxing us on it, and some of these initiatives just really don't make sense. Like, we need to be able to survive, and people need to be able to live and eat and breathe properly. And some of these sort of infringe on that without taking into consideration the individual as it attempts to place this policy on a whole. And we need to come up with some better ways around this sort of thing. And that's about all I've got here for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Have a good day.